Right, good evening everyone, VeMMA brand partners. Welcome to our webinar. I'm Verlene, your host tonight. It's been a while since the last meeting and I'm glad we meet again. So our presenter tonight is Dr. Abraham, a medical practitioner for 40 years and also being a VeMMA Malaysia's product consultant, and Doc is well equipped with health and product knowledge. We have a better preparations on the slides tonight with 3 languages in order to let everyone have a better understanding on some points. So you may write down some notes or key in your questions, and I will assist in passing to Doc for the Q&A session later. And well, we will try to accommodate as many questions as possible. But if your question will miss out, don't worry. You may actually email to Doc or forward to MS email, and Doctor will surely reply them later. Well, all right, cut short on my conversations. The topic which Dr. Abraham is going to share with us tonight is on weight management. Let's concentrate on how and why Bode is so effective on weight solution. Fellow brand partners, are you ready? Right. So I'm going to pass the room to Doc. Well, good evening, Doc, and welcome. I shall now pass the room to you.
Thank you, Verlene.
Thank you.
Good evening, guys. Thank you for coming into the room. It's quite late at night. One good thing about this part of the world is we are in the same time zone. So we can come together, you can say literally at the same time. When you go across the world, it becomes a little bit more difficult. Now, the topic that I'm going to cover today is weight management, and what you see there on the screen, that's me. I look. Can you hear me loud enough? Oh, thank you. Okay. I'll just increase the volume a little bit. Is that better? Let me increase that to a full 100%. Is the sound better now? Am I loud enough? Hello, can you hear me now? Is that better? Okay, that's right, loud and clear. Thanks, Eddie. Okay. You can see the photograph of me. I look more like a black Englishman there. And let's go on to the next slide. We're going to talk about weight management. Now, when we broach this topic, one of the first things that comes to our mind is a lot of suffering. And the thoughts that come to our mind is, oh God, this program, I know they will have some products, but along with that will come some food restriction. I can't eat this, I can't eat that. That brings up a lot of negative views. And the next thing that we see in that picture is you have to live a life of sacrifice. You miss out on all kinds of luxury foods, and therefore that's a lot of sacrifice. But then you are a scout of heart, you want to bring your weight down, so you cut down on your food, you sacrifice some pleasures, and then you realize, oh my God, by cutting down the food, you actually suffer from low energy. You're already down, and this low energy brings your incentive even lower. There are some very tough souls who go through this, and then they come to the next stage. Every time they sit down to eat, they have to count the calories. This is really difficult. Every weight has to be measured. Initially we remember the calories of, say, a plate of kway teow or nasi lemak, but then after a while the amount varies, the amount of sambal varies, the ingredients increase in number or decrease, and we lose count. And it becomes very, very tedious to count calories. We then become very generic in the counting. And at the end of all these things, you find that you're not enjoying life. Every time you sit down to eat, you got to watch what you're eating. Oh, I can't eat this. Oh, I can't eat that. I got to take a little bit of this only, not more of that. And life becomes miserable. And this is the point at which many give up. They may not voice this, but many people feel that this is a lifelong thing that you need to do. Now, how would you like a program where you have none of these topics? In fact, if I told you that it is possible to achieve good weight and manage it properly, permanently, by doing all the things opposite to what is listed here, I know what you will say. It can't be done. You are bluffing. But let me show what can be practiced to actually manage good transformation of your body weight. Wow. Now, can you actually eat 4 to 5 meals a day and lose weight? Now, some people might think this is crazy. Now, there is a small tweak to it, and we will come to that. But you can have your 4 or 5 meals, or even 6 for that matter. Okay? Now, no, I can't take the second one. How can you leave out, how can I not leave out certain foods? Everybody knows a plate of chendol with puluk inside and durian. Whoa, the calorie count is very high. How can you say no particular food is left out? There must be a lot of things that I need to leave out. Not at all. You can sever them, and we will tell you how to do that at what time in the program, so that the effect is not putting on weight, but rather to help you to lose weight. Can you imagine that? Now, of course, you can throw away your calculator or chart of calories, because you don't have to count calories in this plan that we are going to present to you. Now, okay, this 3 is fine, but the large one, you don't know what my favorite food is. No, when I start on pizza, I cannot stop. When I start on some ice cream, I must finish half a cup before I stop. Now, if you say engage in your favorite foods and you still lose weight, well, let me see what you have got to say. Now, when we look at all this, you would probably start thinking, this is some company trying to promote something, to make you buy something and give you all sorts of false promises. I promise you, we have none of that in our minds, and I want to tell you how to go about it. Now, before we actually start doing this, there's a bit of clarification that needs to be done. One, or rather, what is weight management? Many people are not confused, but they're not completely informed. Now, the next slide tells you roughly what we are supposed to aim for. Now, when there is an increase in body weight, what happens is, it is the fat that goes above what it should be. Please get this correct. We all need body fat. Women need a little bit more body fat than men, and that is normal. It is excess body fat that is bad for you. And that is what we are trying to reduce. Now, excess fat in the body is an ideal storage for a lot of environmental toxins to stay in the body. This is what causes a lot of damage over a large period of time. And there are authorities which say cancer, which is a degenerative disease that is rampant now, is probably triggered off by excessive chemicals in our cellular structure stored in the fat over a long period of time. So clearly those who store excess body fat stand a lot of risk in getting diseases, not only cancer, but degenerative diseases. Now, while we are trying to lose excess body fat, we must be careful not to lose our muscle. Muscle is what carries us, moves us, and if you lose muscle weight, the ability to do all that will be much less. Additionally, the muscle gets its energy from fat. So the more muscle you have, the more dense muscle you have, the more fat you burn even while you are sitting down, because the muscles need some energy even while you're not working. So any program that helps to reduce body fat must spare the muscle. What is not normally realized in body weight loss programs that are available in the market is they do not focus on the bone density. It has been found that in the United States, an average woman goes through something like 25 different weight loss programs during her lifetime, which involves restriction of food intake, resulting in fat loss and also a little bit of muscle loss. And the third thing, which is never mentioned but experienced, is also reduction in bone density. This accumulates and we see a generation of people suffering from osteoporosis in spite of the fact that we have a diet that's high in calcium. Now, unfortunately, in the last few years, many people have been recommended to take extra calcium, which only in the last year studies show is actually harmful. So, please do not take extra calcium unless it has been prescribed by a doctor. Please remember bone. Most of bone is actually protein. It's not calcium. Bone is like concrete to the body. If you look at the concrete, it's mainly cement and sand. And the stones you find in that is equivalent to the calcium. So the number one important ingredient in bone structure is protein. So when you lose muscle weight because of lack of protein in your diet, you are also going to lose bone density. Another area that is not much talked about is as we get older, normally our organs reduce in size. Our lungs, our livers and kidneys reduce in size and therefore in efficiency, and we grow older. Now this process is speeded up if your weight loss program does not include the right ingredients. And number one, it should include adequate amounts of protein. Now you don't feel this decrease in organ size because the chest cavity, the abdominal cavity is pretty large, there's a lot of space and you don't feel any difference. But when the decrease in size occurs in the brain, you find that by about 60 plus, your mental faculties begin to slow down. You can't remember the name of people that you knew well. It takes a while to come out, and during conversation you can't bring out the word that you want to talk about. This could be due to a reduction in the brain size. Okay, so in a weight management program, you must be aware of all these negative effects and you must have built-in ingredients to prevent this. At the end of the day, all this must enhance the cell chemistry, which in total is improved body biochemistry. Why? When all these changes are occurring, there is a lot of activity and free radicals are produced. Are we able to neutralize that? Free radicals speed up the aging process. Have you seen some people who go on a very strict dietary program? They lose the weight, but they look much older. They look like prunes, shrunken, you know. Now they have not taken care of the free radicals that are being produced. Now what's the benefit of all this? You can prevent modern diseases. They are basically degenerative diseases, increased cholesterol, unable to process the sugar you take, elevated blood pressure, coronary artery blockage, and so on. So with all this, what happens is you need a program that takes care of all this safely and you lose excess body fat in a healthy manner. Now, how are we going to do it? This looks very complicated, but actually it can be reduced to just 3 different steps. One, you increase the output. Metabolism is the term that is used to describe all the activity, biochemistry, that goes on in the body. Now, if you can do something to increase the rate at which the body burns energy, then that's a step towards reducing excess body fat, because the body uses the fat in the tissues to produce energy. Okay? The second thing would be your reduction. Reduce your input. The moment we say reduce your input, some of you might feel like saying, there you go, there are restrictions. Hold on. This is reducing unnecessary calories. What do you mean by that? Unnecessary. Now, there are times that we get caught in meals or drinks which we don't need. But for social purposes, we say, okay lah, order another teh tarik or maybe another roti canai. You just had your breakfast, then you meet up with somebody an hour later and you're forced into a meal or a drink which has a lot of calories, not much nutrition, and for the purposes of social enhancement, you take it. These are unnecessary calories. And please do not reduce necessary calories. Okay? Increase the metabolism, reduce unnecessary calories. The third area is something that is clearer only in the last 4 years maybe, or maybe even less. I'm sure you've heard of situations where somebody said, I hardly eat anything and I haven't lost a pound or an ounce for that matter. Now, a number of these cases have been found to be eating foods which they thought was low in calories. But then again, there is a significant minority who actually eat very little but don't seem to lose weight. Amazing, isn't it? Now we know it is because of the body hormones they carry. Okay? Fortunately, many of these hormones now we can consciously manipulate to the extent and make them work for us in the process of reducing body fat. Now let's look at the first one. How do we increase metabolism? It is quite well known that if you eat frequently, your metabolic rate goes up. But then somebody might say, no, after makan I feel so sleepy, I want to knock off. You know why? Because you have overeaten. The blood is in the stomach area, not much is circulating in the brain area, so you can't concentrate. Now, when you eat, you find that sometimes you sweat a little bit, sometimes you get a little active. That shows that the metabolic rate goes up. It's only when you overeat. So the trick to having 4 to 5 meals a day, please remember you are stimulating the metabolism 4 to 5 times a day. But your meals have to be reduced in size so that you get hungry for the next meal. If you do not get hungry for the next meal, you have obviously overeaten or eaten the wrong foods the previous meal. The adjustment may take 2 or 3 days, but you will be amazed at how much you can learn, what your stomach accepts, how fast you process certain types of food, how comfortable you feel with certain types of food. So cut down the size of your meals because you know you can eat more frequently, and by doing that, you can actually increase the rate at which you burn energy. It has been found that if the protein content in a meal is high, the body metabolic rate goes up. By the way, protein is good for health. Why not? And protein is mainly found in fish, chicken, meat, eggs. So within a reasonable amount, you should be consuming some of this almost every meal. So why not increase the protein content within the levels of satiety? Don't overeat. You don't need that. Now it has also been found that there are certain herbs when you consume will support the metabolism. Okay, when I put it as increased because if you're already spreading your meals and increasing your protein content, it's going up, these herbs will make sure that they stay up. Okay, now while all this is going on, the amount of free radicals produced is quite high, and that is something we want to neutralize. Free radicals can slow down your metabolism. So if you take antioxidants to neutralize the free radicals, you will not only prevent the body from slowing down, you may actually help it to go up a little bit more. Many people who take antioxidants sweat at the end of it. Many people who take antioxidants in the evening find it difficult to go to sleep because they are sweating and they feel very warm. These are evidences to show that your metabolic rate gets ramped up a little bit if you take antioxidants, apart from neutralizing the free radicals. Now, every cell has literally thousands of chemical reactions going on in a 24-hour period. Every chemical reaction, or should I say biochemical, every biochemical reaction requires a mineral to make it very, very efficient. Magnesium, for example, is involved in over 300 different types of chemical reactions that we know. There are probably more that we don't know. Chromium is involved in the chemical reactions where sugar is metabolized, and so on and so forth. And they have found evidence that we need close to 60 plus minerals in very microscopic forms. Some of them just micromilligrams. If you don't have that in the diet, what happens is the efficiency of the cell goes down, and if the efficiency is down, all the preceding processes will slow down and not give you the maximum benefit. So what we need to do is to make sure that we get our full range of microminerals. Now all this, when done together, increases your body metabolism, not 1 plus 1 plus 1, there are 5 things here, equals 5. Fortunately in biology, when you add 1 plus 1, it is never 2, it is always more than that. Now this is something called synergy, and if you can put all this together and work, you will have an explosive effect. Now this is to increase metabolism. Let us see how we can reduce the calorie intake. Reducing, the key word there is excess. You are not reducing calories that you need, but rather excess. Even then, you are going to experience some difference in your body. So the number one thing to remember, do it slowly. What you have learned to get used to over the last few years, you suddenly pull the plug on it in one day, you are going to feel miserable, and we don't want you to have that feeling. You must feel nice to allow the body to go back to its normal function where it can maintain normal weight. So do it slowly. Take away whatever extra calories that you don't need. It may be a whey, it may be an unnecessary biscuit, it may be a Coke that you don't need and you just wanted to join some friends to have a drink. You can switch to water. Okay. Now the second thing is, and this may surprise you, in this process of reducing excess calories, if you go hungry, the body's metabolic system will slow down and you can put on weight. So you must eat just enough to stay not hungry. Some people think, if I miss the meal, I go hungry, body will burn off that excess calories. The body is smarter than you think. The body now feels, hey, food supply is not reliable. Let's get our storehouses all cleaned up and ready. The next bit of food that comes, I'm going to pick it up and store it as fat. So make sure that you do not get unnecessarily hungry. Then the body is assured that food supply is very regular. It will not be very efficient at storing fat. I talked about calories in drinks. Now, there is a reason why water has no calories. Our body needs water. We need to drink a lot. 2/3 of our body is water. And you can't be drinking drinks that also supplies you empty calories. Now, most people in Southeast Asia, in a day they consume about anything between 300 to 500 calories in drinks. Now, this is a waste of calories. Switch to water and you can eat more food. while at the same time losing weight. So make sure that you drink a lot of water. Okay, we are human beings. We need some enjoyment. Have you a cup of coffee in the morning, maybe a cup of tea in the evening. That's fine. But make sure that you drink a lot of water and stop drinking drinks that have calories which you don't need. Okay. Now, there's one trick question that we get asked in school, at least when I was in school. Which is heavier, 1 kilogram of iron or 1 kilogram of cotton? Immediately the picture comes to mind, wow, the cotton, so much, it must be heavier. But the first line is 1 kilogram of iron, 1 kilogram of cotton, they're both the same. There are foods that vary in calories. You take a small amount of certain food, you may get 100 calories. You take a whole plate of a vegetable, you may get 100 calories. Now, which one do you want to eat? If you eat the vegetable, you will get nutrition, you feel full, you feel satisfied. But if you take a small concentrated food like, say, very sweet ice cream, there's hardly any nutrition, and you have used up your quota of 100 calories. So, you need to minimize foods that are very dense in calories. Space them out very carefully. Keep an eye on that. Now, let's look at how we can make use of the hormone part of it. How we can manipulate the hormone variations in our body to our benefit. The first hormone is cortisol. This is a very important hormone in the human body. Without it, we will die. So this is very important. It comes out when you have stress to help you cope with the stress that you have. Just like in life, a little bit is good, more is not better. Too much of cortisol is harmful. This is the hormone that is secreted in modern lifestyle because we have continuous stress. So when you go home at night, sit down, watch TV, you'll find that you cannot stop eating. You have to choose something, your kacang or something like that, and it goes on and on, in spite of the fact that you just had dinner. The biggest culprit is cortisol. And cortisol is due to the stress. What you need to do is reduce stress. Now, you cannot reduce stress in modern day lifestyles. I know there are a lot of trainings in town which is how to reduce stress, relax, do your breathing. If you do that in your company, your boss will give you a treat and say thank you very much. Now, the best way to handle this would be to learn how to handle stress. Okay, that is not within the scope of this discussion, but you all know how when a stress comes, how you deal with it. Now focus on how you deal with it, and you will find your own way to be able to handle it. So that way you can reduce the cortisol. Please sleep at the right time. Sleeping late reduces growth hormone production. When growth hormone goes down, you will find it difficult to maintain your muscle mass and very easy to increase your fat mass. And therefore, it is important that you get restful sleep at the right time. It is found that sleep between around 10 p.m. to about 3 a.m. is the time the maximum growth hormone is produced. So if you go to bed at 1 o'clock, you have missed half of it. Okay? By the way, this is a hormone that also maintains your youthfulness. You sleep late throughout your life. By the time you're 50, you are going to look much older than your years. Okay? You want to keep excess fat away, you must learn how to sleep early. If you have a lot of work, which we all have, please get up in the morning at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock and do it. Oh, I'm not a morning person. You know why you're not a morning person? Because you sleep late. And therefore you have to get up late. So work a little bit on that. You're not going to hit the ideal hours in your first attempt, but work at it. Now, The third one might sound a little funny to you. Reduce leptin by cheating meal. Wow, leptin is also something new. How do you cheat a meal, Now they find that there's another hormone called leptin. Leptin reduces excess appetite. And if that goes up, you don't feel like eating unnecessary food. Okay? They find that if you go on a fast or miss your meals or reduce your food too much, in 48 hours, it starts going up. What happens? You feel like eating. Okay? So what we do is, we have a program where it includes this gap. So when we allow you to eat your normal meal almost every 3 days, once in every 3 days. In other words, when I say normal, your normal overeating meal. Okay? So you are allowed to, in a way, cheat at that meal to keep this leptin high so that your excess appetite is less. Now, many people have exercised and they say exercise a little bit, helps a little bit lah, but doesn't really reduce weight. You know what? Exercise does not reduce body fat. I repeat, exercise does not reduce body fat. It is your consumption that helps. You cannot out-exercise a bad diet. A trained athlete exercising intensely for an hour can burn up to maybe 400 calories. One plate of kway teow will do. So how does exercise weight or help in reducing increase? Now that is known to reduce, not reduce cholesterol directly, but only by increasing thyroid. Adrenaline increases your sugar burning. Sugar is stored in the body in the form of glycogen, not much. It is only for the first 20 minutes of exercise. So the first 20 minutes of exercise, you're burning stored up sugar. You haven't touched your fat yet. That's why you should not exercise intensely. Moderate level of activity over a longer period of half an hour to 40 minutes is what helps to reduce your fat by increasing the thyroid and the adrenaline. Okay? Now we have put all this together. When you have listened to all this, you are probably impressed, but how do I remember this? Now let me tell you, VeMMA has put together a plan where you don't have to do any thinking. Just follow the instructions given in the, and this I'm going to show in the next slide. We have a program which stretches 12 weeks, 3 months, 90 days, whichever way you want to put it. Why did we choose this? It takes about 100 days to change all the red blood cells in the body. So your whole circulatory system, which is the one that influences all the tissues in the body, changes in about 3 months. So if you go on a plan for 3 months, you are going to see some major changes. And this 3 months, I promise you, will be a breeze. The first thing is, the package includes a body instruction booklet to plan your meal times. It tells you exactly when you are supposed to take, give or take half an hour. There is always some flexibility. Gives you the broad guidelines. What are the foods that you can choose for? There is no counting of calories, so you don't have to worry about when to eat, what to eat. Just look at the list, pick out your favorite foods and eat the way that it is mentioned there. Now, to achieve the rest of what we are talking about, the protein, the herbs, the other ingredients that needs to go into it, VeMMA has come out with 3 different types of body products to help you. Now, it is all packed in such a way that each pack will last you 1 month. Now, we recommend a 3-month plan. Then why did we pack it on a 1-month thing? Now, some people, after doing a 3-month thing, they would like to boost it by taking a 1-month plan on and off. And that is why it is packed in a 1-month pack. But you could pick up a 3-month plan if you would like to at one go. Okay? Now, what goes into this product? Now, I talked about the many things that we need to establish in our metabolism, reducing excess calories, hormone balancing, and when I explain these products, you will find that all that. Let me show you a little bit about the next, or rather the first product. Now, the package is a monthly plan. The first product is only for the first 7 days. I repeat, the whole package is for 1 month, but this first product is only for 1 week. Oh, you didn't mention this. What is this cleanse and so on? Now, anything that you do, you have to start off with cleaning. Just a few weeks ago, I cleaned out, or rather I rearranged my study room. The first thing I had to do was to clean up the place, and I didn't realize how much rubbish there was. I'm sure all of you experienced in your shift house, whoa, there's so much to throw away. So we need to clean up the body before we start. Why? Then the body will respond much better. This is a product of your digestive system. Now when people listen to that, they think, oh, this just brings out a lot of rubbish and that's it. No, it's actually to detoxify the whole body. When your digestive system is clean, all the waste matter that is accumulated in the body now has a chance to start coming out. Now this product is very unusual in the sense we have put in 10 different herbs to clean, I say the system, but basically this is the digestive system. What does it do? All these 10 herbs are chosen very carefully and blended together to give you improved bile flow, enhanced digestion, improved bowel movements, elimination of waste, loosening of fecal matter that may have been encrusted to the lower large bowels, and to make sure that the bowels also start moving so that you get a complete elimination. To help with this herbs, we have added 2 types of fiber. While the cleansing is going on, we would still like to supply you with nutrition. So we give you 1 ounce of the VeMMA formula, which by the way is half of your daily requirement in just 1 dose of this. You need to take this in the morning and the instructions will be in the booklet, and you can start your program with this. The next is we have 2 products which are quite similar, but I'll go through it one by one. 2 products which are quite similar. One you take during the day, one you take just before you retire at night. The one that you take during the day supports the fat burning effect. So we call it body burn. The one that you take at night, which is the next slide, is body rest. Now let me go back to the body burn. Now you can already quickly have seen that a lot of it's similar. Okay, let's go through it. We talked about a high protein intake to improve your metabolic rate. Now your question probably will be, why 20 grams? Why not 30? Why not 15? Now it has been found that 20 grams is the optimum level for almost everyone. Only a very extreme athlete is able to absorb 30 or more protein in 1 dose. So this is ideal, optimum level to give you the max metabolic rate increase. When you take a high protein supplement or food, bowels feel a bit sluggish. We have made sure that you do not experience this, and we have added 7 grams of fiber to each dose of this body burn. We also made sure that you're not going to miss out on our vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. So we give you another ounce. We've already got 1 in the morning, another 1 in the afternoon, and 1 ounce of VeMMA formula, which is another half. of your daily requirement. It's been found that in spite of the fact that we have antioxidants in our VeMMA formula, there's another antioxidant which is very potent in supporting the cells in increasing metabolism, resveratrol. Now that is given in large amounts here. Okay. We have also added a herbal blend which supports the metabolism. Please be reminded this is not something that will stimulate your heart rate or anything like that. Anyone can take this. Okay. Now the one item that is different from the other body product, which is the rest, is the conjugated linoleic acid. Now this has been studied extensively, and they find during a time of fat reduction, this will help to hold on to your muscle weight. It has been found that beef or other animals that are fed on natural grass, no artificial food, no immunization, no steroids, have very high CLA in their meat. It has also been found people living say 80, 90 years ago actually ate more meat than we did, but they did not put on so much weight. And they feel this could be the reason that there's a high amount of CLA in meat, which is not available now. The present day meat doesn't have that, and you got to take it as a supplement. Here is an amazing formula, and VeMMA has been able to keep it below 110 calories for such a huge amount of nutrition. Okay. Let's look at the next one. Now again, the protein is there, the fiber, 1 ounce of VeMMA, resveratrol, the herb that increases your metabolic rate. What we have added here is an amino acid herbal blend that helps you to relax. It reduces your stress by inducing natural sleep, and when you are able to sleep well, your cortisol levels come down, your growth hormone levels go up. Okay, by the way, the protein intake will keep your leptin levels at normal level, your insulin levels low. So we have actually literally naturally manipulated the hormones to be at a level where you get the best benefit for your weight control. So this again, we have kept it below 110 calories. Okay. Now, we have an amazing formula here. What we have is you do not have to go hungry, you do not have to miss anything in your food, you do not have to lose muscular weight, organ weight, and you will achieve a very healthy weight loss. Now, I have finished my presentation. I'm going to give some time for Q&A. I'm sure you have a lot of questions. This is a very large topic. Please, I'll hand it over to Berlin. She would be coordinating this for us.
Right. Thank you, doctor. Thank you. Wow, that's a wonderful presentation. You know, one thing that I always amazed with doctor's presentation is every time that I learned new medical knowledge, I learned some extra information that I think is a wonderful tips, you know, for all our brand partners, you know, whenever that they do their sharing. Now, while waiting for our brand partners to key in on the Q&A, you know, what is the common Q&A, the common questions that they always send to you, you know, regardless on the personal consultant or even in email? Can you share a little bit with us?
Yes, Berlin, thanks for that question. I think that is in the mind of a lot of people. Now, one of the things they ask is, who cannot take this? And I think that's a very good question. In fact, just yesterday we had a brand partner who has delivered, the child is being nursed by the mother. Can I take this product? You know what? The best way for a mother, young mother who's breastfeeding to lose weight, to lose excess weight, is to continue breastfeeding. No need to take anything else. Okay? So I told her, you are eligible to take our VeMMA product, not the body, because whatever goes in now will be shared with the baby, and we do not want the baby to get any of this herbal extracts, which is good for you, not good for the baby. Okay? So expectant mothers, breastfeeding mothers, no weight loss program, even with any other products. Okay? The next is medical conditions. Those who are ill should not go on any weight loss programs. You should recover from your illness and then you can do it. Now what about people who have illnesses which is, well, say long-term or cannot be cured, like kidney failure. Now kidney failure, there are a lot of restrictions in the diet that you take, and therefore we will not encourage this. Now what about people who have got diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol, heart disease? Oh, these are the people who must go through this program. It will definitely help them. Okay? Well, these are the main. Okay, the next thing that I can remember is how young should you be, or rather, how old should you be before you can go on a weight loss program? My son, who's a young teenager, is obese. Can I give this program to him? Now, I would suggest anyone 18 and below, school going, there is no need to take this. They should be careful with the sugars that they take. Many of the teenagers drink a lot of soda drinks. They eat a lot of kueh and so on. Change their diet, alter their diet to give them healthy food, and that is good enough. Okay. Now we also have a question that has come through. 65 minerals plant-based sauce. Where does the sauce come from? Wow, this is a long story actually. um, First of all, do we need plant-based minerals? Very quickly, let me say yes. We all need iron. Let me give you an example. We need iron. What do we eat? Do we eat dark green vegetables or do we eat iron nails? Now, iron nails are inorganic minerals, and therefore, we can't take them. We need to take all. And for that, we need to take vegetables or animal body parts which have, and any supplement which has minerals must be plant derived. And that brings us to the original question, where do we get this? Now, the Earth's surface had a lot of vegetation, and the Earth's surface has moved up, and in the process has buried large number of forests. Along with that, plants got buried. Over periods of time, the pressure on these plants are such that the contents of the cells of the leaves or they are broken up and they just come out into the soil and they are lost in the soil. More pressure on these plants and they become cold. The plant matter itself becomes cold. So this coal can be used for producing energy. China as an old country has a lot of coal because this pressure has been going on for a long time. Is the volume okay? Can you hear me? Is it loud enough? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Very soft. How is it now? Is it louder? No difference. Oh. How's the volume now? How's the volume now? Better. Okay, loud and clear now. That's great. That's great. So the compression of these vegetables also creates coal, and if the compression is long enough, you get diamond formation. Okay. Now, what happened to the contents that slip out into the soil? Of course, it gets lost in the soil. This contents contain all the minerals that were in the vegetable. So this gets picked up by other plants. But there are certain parts of the world where uh, this happens at the edge of a cliff, and the lower part of the cliff can be below sea level, and they find that a lot of this gooey substance that comes out from this vegetable gets expelled at the edge of these cliffs, and this can be extracted. Now, one such place that we find on Earth is in the state of Utah in the United States, where, for example, you have the Salt Lake. Okay, the lake is salt because the floor is below sea level, and that's not at the lake itself. Further down, they find that they have many such spots, and there are companies that produce this, or rather extract this plant-based minerals. So the plant-based minerals that we get are from this kind of a source. So the 60 plus minerals, we always say 60 plus minerals, maybe up to 65, because these are natural extracts, and therefore it can vary a little bit here and there, but these are from plants that have existed very, very long ago. Studies show that these were the plants that fed the dinosaurs. Now, if these plants, and by the way, almost 95% of the dinosaurs were vegetarians, in spite of the fact that we see in the movies dinosaurs eating up people. Those were exceptions. So if these huge animals got so much nutrition from eating vegetables, obviously these vegetables have a lot of nutrition, which includes a high amount of minerals. So the 65 minerals are from this source. The next question, does body help to reduce up to 15% body fat in 3 months? Is our workout required? Now, fat loss in a body is equivalent to fat gain in the same person. We all gain fat and lose fat at different rates. There are some of us who eat anything and everything, and we don't lose any fat at all. We don't gain any fat at all. There are many of us who have to just look at food and we put on fat. Now, I'm exaggerating here, but you get what I mean. So the loss would be the same way. But there is some good news for you. Those people who lose fat slowly, that process is slow only in the beginning. Usually by the second or third month, the process speeds up. What happens? Now, when your fat accumulation occurs in the body, the ability to burn fat is reduced because certain enzymes that are needed in burning the fat or metabolizing the fat start coming down. So when you start on a diet exercise program, the fat is not burned in fire in your body, it is burned by the enzymes. Now body doesn't have these enzymes at optimal levels, and therefore it has to be built up. Some people build it up in 1 month. Some take up to 3 months to build up these enzymes before they see a significant drop in body fat. Stick to it. The longest that I've seen is 2 months plus, by which time you will experience fat loss. Fat loss is never a straight line. There will be times when you lose a lot in one go, then there will be periods of consolidation, then you lose again. So it's sort of an intermittent thing. Okay? So can you come down 15%? It depends on your age and how long you would like to stick with it. The next question is for hypothyroid. Is it better to take VeMMA or Bode? Now, hypothyroid is a condition where your thyroid function is below normal. The first thing to do would be to see a doctor, check it out to see whether you need medical care. Please do not neglect that. Now, so get that corrected and then we can go on our products. Now the second part of the question was, which is better for such a person, VeMMA or Bode? Now VeMMA is basically to support the body's nutritional requirement. Now if you are interested in increasing your thyroid function because you want to lose weight, and by the way, hypothyroid means the people are usually on the heavier side, they have more body fat. Yes, your thyroid function will be better supported if you take Bode products. Now, the next question is the extract of 65 minerals added to mangosteen juice? One of the first things I emphasize is VeMMA is a liquid product. It does not mean it is a juice. It is not a juice. In fact, it is a product that gives you all the basic vitamins, minerals, antioxidants in a liquid form. Okay, we have added 3 substances, vegetable substances, to increase the taste and provide you antioxidants. What are the 3? Mangosteen extract, green tea extract, aloe vera extract. So it is not mangosteen juice. It is only one of the 80 ingredients mixed. Yeah? Next question, VeMMA Bode is recommended for 3 months only, or it is safe to be consumed daily all the year? To answer the question directly, you can consume it throughout the year. Do you have to do it? Now you do it for reduction of body fat, and if you have achieved your target, you don't have to continue. You can stop for a while, and if you think that the weight is moving up, go through a pop-up every couple of months or every often that you necessary. Now if you happen to take it throughout the year, there is no ill effect. Any other questions?
Hi, brand partners. Do you still have any questions? Right, you have to catch up on time. Right, if you still have, you can actually key into the screen whereby I can help doctors assist him to enlarge it so that you can see it clearly. Right, still any more that are coming in? I think we have a great session for today. So much things to learn, and a few very good points that have been carrying out by doctor, especially we emphasize on the importance of our product, we emphasize on the benefit of our products, and it is all clearly mentioned, right? So I would like to say thank you to Turf. Thank you for his time. Thank you for all of our brand partners, from Singapore, Malaysia, some even from Indonesia, that everyone is here with us tonight. And we hope we're going to arrange the next sessions soon, right? And you can actually put in some feedbacks or even the topics that you would want doctors to share with us. We're happy to receive all the feedbacks and all the comments, right? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, my dear fellow brand partners, and then until we meet again, and thank you very much. Thank you, doctor, too.
Thank you guys.